All right, hello and welcome to the Thursday Happy Feet session with Dr. Potiampai. We are very excited to have her. This is the third or fourth session that they've done with the team from Moving Through Cancer at UPMC has done with us. And I just want to share a little bit about Dr. Potiampai. She is an assistant professor in the Department of Medicine at the University of Pittsburgh and UPMC Hillman Cancer Center, and the co-director of the UPMC Moving Through Cancer program. Her research focuses on the role of using exercise to improve physical, functional, and psychosocial outcomes before, during, and after treatment, and providing resources to people living with and beyond cancer to help prepare for and recover from treatment. So there are multiple different topics that we go through as we move through the 7 weeks, but this one is the pre-testing. So I'll turn it over to Dr. Potiampai, and then she can kind of explain our pre-testing.
All right, I'm going to share my screen really quick, just have a couple of slides. And everyone see the slides now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, let me talk into the microphone. Here. All right. Okay. So those of you who aren't familiar, we are from the MOVE Lab, Momentum and Oncology via Exercise. So my name is Dr. Melanie Potiampai. On the left-hand side is Adeline Farrington, who you will most likely see more of the 6 weeks. She's my exercise physiologist. And on the right is Cara Batistella, and you might see her pop in a couple of times to help with some of the training sessions. So today, before we start the actual exercise, we like to do what we call functional assessments. And it helps us to understand where you are starting before you do the exercises and how you progress over the next 5 to 6 weeks. So we will do these assessments today, and then we'll repeat them again after the 5 sessions of exercise over the next 5 weeks. So this is how it's going to go. I would like for you to grab a sheet of paper if you have one. It could be a sticky note, a notepad, or if you want to do it on your computer, if you have a Word or a Google Doc, or on your phone. You're going to write down the results of each of the assessments that we're going to do, and I'm going to give you some time after we do each of the assessments, and I'll tell you exactly what you need to write down. And then you're going to put the information and your results in the chat after each of the assessments is complete. So if you know how to operate the Zoom chat, I'm going to ask you to put your results in there. If you don't, or if it's too quick for you, or you'd rather just send it all at one time under no pressure, you can send it to my email, which is here, potiampaim@upmc.edu, and I can put that in the chat later on, and just send me your results. So preferably, if you want, put them in the chat after each assessment is done. If not, you can email it to me at one time at your convenience after today's session. So for today's session, you're going to need, if you use a mobility aid or an assistive device such as a walker, a cane, or if you're in a wheelchair, or if you need anything else, please have that on you. All of these assessments can be done with any type of mobility aid. You don't need to put that aside. We want to make sure that you are safe while doing the assessments. Water, if you need it. Preferably a chair with no arms. If you can't find a chair with no arms, a chair with arms is perfectly fine, as long as it does not have any wheels. We don't want you accidentally tripping or sitting in it with the chair rolling away. So a chair that is nice and sturdy, no wheels with no arms. And if you have it in the space that you are located, if you can put the chair either on a rug pad or on the back of a wall or against a table, something that provides a little bit more support would be preferred if it is available to you in your space. If you have dumbbells, 5 pounds for women, 8 pounds for men, a resistance band, or some type of household item. And when I say household item, it could be a soup can, it could be a laundry detergent bucket, it could be a water bottle full of water, anything that's accessible to you that you can hold in one hand, because we're going to be doing some arm curls. Again, if you don't have the dumbbells, it's really not a big deal. So anything that you can find around your home that you can easily grab with your hand, go ahead and grab that and make note of what you use, because you want to use that same exact item in the next time when we do these assessments, because we want to see what changes you have in your upper body strength. So if you want to take a second, if you don't have it already, again, a chair with no arms, a water, and some type of weight that you can hold in your hand, we're going to be using for the functional assessments. So go ahead and grab those. No rush if you need to go to another room and grab it. Not a big deal. All right. All right, I will go over those slides at the end. Okay, so how's this going to go? So I'm going to introduce the assessment, and then I will say ready, set, go, and then I will start the clock for the test. When the time is up for the test, I will say relax. You go ahead and relax, shake out your arms and legs, and I want you to write down the results of your test. I'll give everybody a minute to type their results in the Zoom chat of this meeting, or you want to record it on your notepad or your results to email me later. Okay, and then we're going to do that for every assessment. Okay. So we're going to do a couple of warm-up exercises just to kind of get the blood flowing, get the muscles relaxed a little bit, get your heart rate up, get your body temperature up, especially since it's so cold outside today. So that's what we're going to do first. So first we're going to do some heel raises. So if you're already sitting down, great. You can do these standing up if you prefer to do it standing up. So you're going to sit down on the edge of your chair. I'm in my office. I don't really have that much room today, so I can't demonstrate. But your heel raises are as if you are trying to step down on a gas pedal, and you're just going to push up onto your toes, and you're going to flex those calf muscles and hold it for 2 seconds, and then you're going to relax your heels down to the floor, and then again up again for 2 seconds, and then down to the floor. We're going to do 10 of those. So go ahead and do that at your own pace. I don't need you to rush through these. I'm not doing them fast. So again, up onto your toes for 2 seconds, and then relax your heels back down to the floor. Go ahead and do your 10. And you can do these seated or standing, depending on whatever is comfortable for you. If you do them standing, it's a little bit more weight bearing, but if you can only do it seated, and this is the first exercise you've done for today, that's perfectly fine as well. If you need a little bit of assistance while you're standing, using a chair or a table, that's also okay too. Everyone looks good. And I did forget to mention, if you have the ability to and you are comfortable turning on your camera, it allows me to see you and make sure that you're doing everything properly in terms of technique and for safety. But if you don't have the ability today, or if you're a little bit uncomfortable, hopefully for the next few weeks that you can find some space to turn on the camera or get a little bit more comfortable with us. Again, no one is looking at you, it's just me. So it's just for your safety. All right, very good. We're going to move on to the next warm-up exercise. It's going to be toe raises, so it's going to be the opposite. So this time you're going to try to keep your heels on the ground, and you want to flex your toes up towards the ceiling. And so instead of your calf muscles, you're going to be working your shin muscles, which are also very important for balance. You're going to want to raise your toes up towards the ceiling for about 2 seconds, and then relax them towards the ground. And all of this while you want to keep your heel on the ground. You should be feeling the muscle that's in front of your bone, of your leg, working. You do this seated or standing, whichever you prefer. So we're going to do exactly the same. We're going to do 10 of those. If you're standing, you might want to grab onto something for a little bit of balance. These muscles are very rarely used in exercise, so it might be a little bit more hard, difficult to do them, but that's okay. Go ahead and do 10 toe raises. All right, everyone looking good. All right, when you're done with those 10, go ahead and kind of just wiggle your ankles a little bit, get that blood pumping through. The next one are going to be shoulder rolls. This should feel really good. So you just want to bring your shoulders up to your ears and drop them forward and down. Try to keep your neck nice and relaxed. And you want to do 10 shoulder rolls to the front. All right. Again, no need to rush through these. And then once you're done 10 to the front, you want to go ahead and reverse and go 10 towards the back. All right. Very good. One thing I forget to mention, and sometimes people forget to do, is that you should still keep your steady breathing while you're exercising and stretching. We never want to hold our breath. That's just going to jack up our blood pressure, and we don't want that. Exercise is that enough for us. We go ahead and finish up the 10 forward shoulder rolls and then 10 backward shoulder rolls. Go ahead and do those. Again, no rush, no need to do them quickly. All right, everyone looks good so far. And please let me know if I accidentally drop my mic and I'm too quiet. I'm trying to operate 3 things at one time. Looking good, looking good. Okay, great. All right, so the last one is going to be a seated leg extension. This is going to help with our quads, which are our leg muscles, which are some of the largest muscle groups that we use. So you're going to go ahead and grab a seat in that chair that we had you bring up in the beginning. You're going to do one leg at a time. It's going to be 10 on each leg. So start with your right, start with your left, doesn't matter to me. So it's essentially as if I were to kick you a soccer ball, and you're going to kick your leg out as if you're kicking that ball away. And when you kick your leg out, you want to squeeze your leg muscles at the very top when your leg is fully extended, right? And then go ahead and you do 10 on one leg, and then 10 on the other. You're going to kick your leg out, hold for 2 seconds, relax that leg, and then do it again. Kick that leg out, hold for 2 seconds, and then relax that leg. Go ahead and do 10 on one side, and shake that out. And do 10 on the other side. Again, no need to kick that leg out like a rocket, no need to go fast. You just want to make sure you're concentrating on squeezing those leg muscles, those thigh muscles at the very top when your leg is fully straight, okay? You need to hold on to your chair for a little bit of structure and posture. That's perfectly fine. And again, remember to keep breathing while you're doing the exercise. Ideally, you want to exhale when you take your leg out and inhale when you relax. Okay. Go ahead, 10 and 10. I'll give you another 30 seconds to finish up. When you're done, if you're done, go ahead and just give me a thumbs up. And then once I see a lot of people give thumbs up, then I'll move on. Very nice, very nice. Okay. All right, all right. Go ahead, for those who are still doing it, finish up. I'm going to move on to the next slide. Okay, so go ahead and start getting your pen and paper ready. If you need to record on pen and paper, I'm going to describe the test first, and then I will go ahead and start the clock for you all. So the first one is going to be a set of 3 balance tests. They're going to get progressively more difficult, but nothing that shouldn't be impossible to do. So the first one you're going to do is called a side-by-side stance test. So what you're going to do is you're going to stand up, and all I want you to do is that I want you to stand with your feet touching, just like in the picture here, where your feet are just side by side standing next to each other. All I want you to do is hold that stance if you are able to, and try not to fall over, essentially is what the point of the test is, okay? So if everyone can go ahead, and if you are able to do this test, go ahead and stand up, put your feet side by side, and I'm going to start the clock. And ready, set, and go. All right, and relax. So what I want you to do now is either write down or put in the chat for me. Did you participate in the test? Yes or no, or did not participate? Sorry, did you complete the test? Yes, no, or I did not participate. And if you can, put your first name and last initial for me, please. If you didn't, because I didn't say it in time, that's perfectly fine. Don't worry, you don't have to put it in twice. Right. bear with me. I usually have someone helping me along the way.
Would you like me
But
to help, Dr. Melanie?
oh no, it's okay. I'm just using my phone. I'm going really low tech today. I'm taking pictures with my phone of the chat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It is flu season, and unfortunately, Adeline is out of the count today.
Oh no.
That's okay. All right. Did everyone get a chance to put the results in the chat? Thumbs up if you can. No need to unmute. Perfect. Thank you so much. All right. Okay. So the next one, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to be standing up, but instead of your feet being side by side, you're going to slightly stagger your feet. So it's one foot slightly in front of the other. It doesn't matter if it's your right foot or your left foot in front, as long as one is slightly in front of each other and they are slightly touching. Okay, so why don't you go ahead and get your feet in position, and I'm going to start the clock. All right, ready, set, and go. All right, you can go ahead and relax. If that was difficult for you or you feel like a little bit tight in your muscles, that's okay. Why don't you shake them out a little bit? So now in the chat, I just want you to put number 2, yes or no, that you completed it, or if you did not participate in the test. So again, yes, number 2, yes or no, or did not participate, please. All right. Very good. Okay. Hopefully everyone has submitted their results. It looks like it is. Right. Okay. We have one more balance test, which should be a little bit more difficult. And again, your safety is priority. So if you feel a little bit unsteady and you feel like you can't do it, please don't feel pressured to do the test. This one is called the full tandem stance. So it's going to either be your right foot or your left foot in front. It doesn't matter. One completely in front of the other. Okay, so your heel should touch the toe of your other foot. So try out that stance really quickly. If you feel like you're like, I don't know, this feels a little bit unsteady, and I can't do this unsupported, as in I can't let go of the chair or the table, then you might want to not perform it. But if you are comfortable and you want to try, I'm going to go ahead and start the clock. Ready? Set. And go. All right, very good. If you did participate in the test, go ahead and put in the chat number 3, yes, no, or did not participate. Or if you tried to participate and you finished before I said the 10 seconds and you stepped out of line, just put finished early. That's fine too. You know, based on everyone's survey results, balance was a big issue, but it didn't seem like balance was a big issue for a lot of you. You did this test perfectly fine. All right. Hopefully everyone put theirs in the chat. If not, yeah.
Oh, excuse me, Melanie. I had a quick question. Does it
Yeah.
differ depending on what foot you put in the front on this full tandem? I'm just curious about that.
It might for some people. Generally, the test doesn't care which foot you put in one front of the other. However, some people might have a large imbalance in terms of the strength or the dominance of whichever leg that you use. So normally we just let people choose whatever leg that they want to use for putting it in front.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. All right. If you're ready, we're going to move on to the next test. This is going to be a little bit different. We're going to test your aerobic capacity, so how well you do in terms of stamina. So you're going to need your chair for this, but you're going to be standing if you are able. If you are not able and can only do some seated exercises, you still can do this seated. So this is going to be a 2-minute step test or a 2-minute marching test. So what you're going to do is you're going to put your chair either in front of you or onto the side so that you have it for some support. And essentially what you're going to be doing is that when I say go and start the clock, you're going to be marching in place for 2 minutes, right? And that's how I'm going to test your aerobic stamina. So I want you to also mentally or out loud, since we're all on mute, I want you to count how many times you lift your right foot off of the ground in the 2 minutes. So if you feel like you need to count mentally, if you want to say it out loud, that's perfectly fine. Or you have someone else counting for you. But over the 2 minutes, again, I want you to count the number of times you lift your right foot off of the ground. And how high should you be lifting your foot? As if you were stepping onto a high curb. So you want to lift your foot at least 6 inches off of the ground. Okay, so, you know, not these little tippy taps that you would see. You want to try for at least, like as if you're stepping up onto a high curb, at least 6 inches off of the ground. So this test is like 2 minutes straight. You might get tired during it, and that's perfectly fine. If you feel like you need to stop and catch your breath and take a break, you can absolutely do so as many times as you want. But the clock will keep going. So when you're ready to rejoin after your break, you go ahead and just keep rejoining. I'm going to let you know when there's 1 minute left, 30 seconds left, and when to stop. So I'm counting on you to count how many times again to your right foot comes off of the ground over the 2 minutes.
So we're only lifting right leg.
Yes.
Are we only?
No, you're lifting both legs. You're marching in place.
Okay,
but you're going to count. Yeah, you're marching in place, but you're counting how many times your right leg comes off of the floor. Okay. Good clarification question. Anyone else have any questions before we start the clock? If not, give me a thumbs up and I'll know we can move on. Okay, great. Let me pull up my stopwatch. Okay, let's get ready to work out. Okay, ready, set, go. Looking good. Keep going. Remember to breathe. If you need to take breaks, please take a break. All right, you're halfway. You got 1 more minute. Keep going. Doing good. Everyone's looking strong. And relax. Very good. Relax. All right, catch your breath. Get some water. Stretch out your legs if you need to. Okay, so what I want you to put in the chat is step test and then how many times your right leg came off of the ground once you catch your breath. Oh, these numbers are really good. Very nice, everyone. So I'm expecting after these 6 weeks of exercise, I'm expecting like triple and quadruple digits from everybody.
Yeah, this is amazing. And just remember, I
We're
mean,
very
you're
good.
not competing against the people in the group. You're just trying to improve your score.
Mm-hmm. All right. Looks like everyone's got a results in. And again, if you accidentally forgot to send it to me and you realize later, you can put it in an email to me. Not a big deal. All right. Catch your breath. Get some water if you feel like you need to. And we'll move on to the next one. Okay, so for this one, we're going to switch to your upper body. We're going to give your legs a little bit of a break. So whatever item that you decided to use for your upper body strength test, whether it's a dumbbell or household item, go ahead and grab that. And you're going to go ahead and have a seat in your chair. Go ahead and sit on towards the edge of the seat of your chair so you're not accidentally bumping the side of the chair in case your chair has arms. Again, whatever household item it is, as long as it has a little bit of weight to it, that's fine. I like to use my water bottle full of water. This might honestly weigh 5 pounds because this thing is so heavy. But soup can, laundry detergent bucket, dumbbell, book. I'm trying to think what else. I have a lantern in my house. In fact, I also use a flashlight if it's heavy. Whatever you have, go ahead and grab it. Okay. So for this one, if you've ever seen a bicep curl, right, you're going to start with your arm and the item towards the bottom, right, with your arm fully extended. And when I say go, I want you to curl your arm towards your shoulder. And you're going to do that as many times as you can in 30 seconds, okay? Make sure to try to keep your shoulder still. And the only thing that's moving is your arm as you're flexing your bicep, pulling that item towards your shoulder, okay?
One
So
arm at a
again, you're going
time?
to count how, I'm sorry?
One arm at a time or 2 arms?
We're just going to do your dominant arm.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for that question. So that's correct. You're only going to do your dominant arm, so it's either right or your left, and then you're going to count to yourself or out loud how many times you're able to curl that item in the 30 seconds that we're doing the test. Okay. Again, if you feel like you need to take a break because your arm is tired within that 30 seconds, you absolutely can. And whenever you're ready, you just keep going until I say stop when the test ends. Anyone else have any questions?
Yes, I do. What if like my
Yeah.
dominant arm is compromised right now? I've been
Okay.
doing a lot of mobile things around the house. So
Okay.
I'd like to do
You can
it
use
with
your
my
other
left
arm.
arm. Yeah, thanks.
That's fine. Yeah. All right. Good. Anyone else have any other questions? All right, we're gonna pump some iron. Feeling good. All right, everyone grab your household item, again, at the edge of your chair. Ready, set, go. All right, and relax. Very good. Okay, so in the chat, I'd like you to put arm and then the number of times you were able to curl that that item. All right, we're seeing results come in. So again, arm and then the number of times you were able to curl that item. All right. Give you another few seconds. So go ahead and put your results in the chat. Okay. I think everyone's got their results in. All right. Okay. Everyone's feeling okay so far? Thumbs up if everyone's feeling good. Okay. Great. Thank you very much. So the next one, we're going to switch to your lower body again. So this one is going to be called the 30-second chair stand. So we want to see essentially how many times can you get up and sit down in the chair within 30 seconds, if you are able to do so. All right, so what you're going to need is your chair placed against a table, on a rug pad, or against a wall if you need that extra stability. You're going to want to sit towards the edge of the chair a little bit. I know this picture shows it with your back totally supported, but that actually makes it harder for you to get out of the chair. So you want to scooch towards the edge a little bit and make sure your feet are firmly flat on the ground. You can have either your arms on your hips or across your chest, touching your shoulders, as long as they're out of the way and you're not tempted to use them to push yourself out of the chair. Okay, so edge of the seat, hands on hips or over your chest. So when I say go, I want you to stand up and sit down in that chair as many times as you can in 30 seconds. And you want to make sure, yes.
Do we start
Yes,
from
Tina.
a seated or from standing?
You're going to start from seated. Yeah, so you're going to start from seated. And when you stand up, a lot of times, a lot of my patients like to cheat to get as many times as you can. You have to stand all the way up, as in your legs are almost straight, right? So none of this like 5 inches out of the seat. You want to stand all the way up to your full height and then come back down. And you don't have to necessarily always sit down completely. As long as your butt touches the chair, you can go straight back up, okay? Any other questions? All right, I don't see any questions. All right. Again, if the 30 seconds is a long time, which will feel like for some people, you can take a break and then just rejoin whenever you're ready. Okay, everyone ready? Set, go. And relax. Very good. Very good. Very good. All right. So then I want you to put in the chat. Give me 1 second while the chat loads for me. I think. All right, go ahead and put chair and then how many times you actually stood up from the chair for me, please. All right. These numbers look good. If you weren't able to do it, not a big deal. These numbers look good. And one thing I like to tell the patients that I work with is that, you know, maybe the number is not extremely high, but you still did the test. Usually after the exercise, we also like to see, how do you feel actually after doing the test? Are you less out of breath? Do your legs feel less heavy? Right? Sometimes the numbers don't go up, but the exertion that you need to do the test might not be as much from when you started the exercise. So something to keep in mind. Okay, so I think I got everybody. Close this out. Okay. Oh, surprise, surprise. That was the last test. Wonderful. Good job, everybody. So I'm going to give a quick spiel about what we're going to do over the next 5 weeks together. A lot of you are familiar with Happy Feet and have done it because I recognize a lot of faces. So you've done this program before, but if you've never done this program before, have even done exercise before, what we like to concentrate on are 2 different types of exercise, aerobic and resistance training. So aerobic exercise is exercise that uses large muscle groups for a continuous amount of time. The point of aerobic exercise is to increase your heart rate and your respiration rate, so how often that you're breathing. So examples are walking, running, swimming, cycling, and in some cases, resistance training or strength training. So you can program or prescribe resistance training to be very aerobic, where you're lifting weights and it can increase your heart rate and your respiration rate, similar to brisk walking or running. For resistance training is when you use your muscles that are working against some type of external resistance. And that resistance can be your body weight, it could be, you know, fancy gym machines, it could be resistance bands, which we'll be using, it could be dumbbells, it could be household items. Anything that's a repeated motion against some type of external resistance. And what's the point in doing resistance training? Sometimes it's uncomfortable and it's, you know, makes you sweaty and I'm tired. What's the benefit? So the American College of Sports Medicine found that if you do consistent aerobic and resistance training weekly and you try to meet the recommendations of 150 to 300 minutes per week of a moderate intensity exercise and at least 2 times per week of resistance training, for people living with a beyond cancer, you can help reduce fatigue. It helps improve quality of life, your physical functions, your ability to do everyday activities. It can help reduce anxiety and depressive symptoms, improve your sleep. It does not worsen lymphedema and actually helps prevent lymphedema for women who have not already experienced lymphedema. And it can help with long-term bone health if you do consistent resistance exercise. So with that in mind, over the next 7 weeks, this is our itinerary. Today we completed the pre-exercise assessments. Weeks 2 and 3 are going to be resistance training for strength. So for week 2, we're going to introduce strength exercises for you. Make sure that you are doing them properly, your technique is proper. We're going to teach you how to kind of manipulate around the room. And then the 3rd week, we're going to really get into it, do those same exercises, but a little bit of a quicker tempo. Week 4, we're going to do strength training again, but for endurance. So this time we're going to decrease weight and increase the tempo. So increase the speed at which we're doing the exercises so that you can get a little bit of a aerobic cardio workout while still doing strength training. And then weeks 5 and 6, we programmed them for resistance training for balance, because I know a lot of you put in your surveys that, you know, being steady and balance issues and, you know, bending over and grabbing things without the fear of falling and being more steady on your feet were priorities for you. So we're going to do resistance training exercises and some drills that have been used to help with balance in hopes that it will improve your balance, you know, for your everyday activities. And this itinerary might change. We, you know, Adeline and I might watch you do the exercises and realize that maybe, you know, your balance really isn't that bad. It's more of a confidence thing and, you know, you're judging yourself against something else. And we might change this a little bit, but every week we'll be using the resistance training bands that we're providing for you for Happy Feet. And then on week 7, it's going to be these same assessments again. We're hoping to see some type of improvement. And if there is no improvement, we like to see maintenance, right? So a lot of times for cancer patients and survivors, there's this idea that you have to improve because you did exercise, but in reality, it's about maintaining already what you have. If you improve, that's a bonus. But if you're able to make sure your strength doesn't decrease, especially if you're on treatment, that is a huge win in of itself, because a lot of people who don't do anything for themselves, they do tend to decline in the muscle mass they have and the muscle strength that they have and their ability to use those muscles and their ability to do everyday activities. So keep that in mind for those of you who are currently on treatment or maybe have just recently completed treatment. It's not always about, improving the number significantly. If you can maintain where you are, that means you've really beat the odds compared to a lot of other adults. So for next week, I want you to make sure you have the resistance bands that were provided for you. If you use an assistive device, if you're wheelchair bound or if you have a cane or crutches or anything that you need to use, please have those with you for safety. Make sure you have enough space around you to complete the exercises. I did not follow that rule today. I'm stuck in my little corner office, but we'll do that in a broader space. Make sure there's nothing that you can accidentally trip on, or if there's a rug that's on the edge, please don't wander near that. And Adeline put this because she's a very happy-go-lucky, smiles and excitement. Exercise realistically is not very enjoyable for a lot of people until you know how to do it and you feel that dopamine hit afterwards. And sometimes it's a trudge to put on your exercise and workout clothes and your sneakers and come do the exercises. But I guarantee once you come and do the exercises, you'll feel a lot better and you'll be more eager to do it the next week. Okay, I can stop sharing. Are there any questions that anyone has in terms of the exercise before I hand it over back